my plan was to get in, get big fast, and get out. That was the plan.
Get in, get rich, get out.
Absolutely.
The dream.
Yeah. And at the time when I started off, there was a couple of chains. So large format pet stores were not in Ireland. There was none. So I set up the first one in 1995. And how I got into it was I had started my career in retail with Penneys. First job I had was sweeping the floor in Sligo. They were opening a new store and they needed somebody to sweep the floor. And I'd taken a year off before going to college to earn some money because I was the youngest of 10 kids. We hadn't a lot of money at home.
You a Sligo man?
Sligo town, born and bred beside the showgrounds where Sligo Rovers play.
Oh, yeah.
So Penneys needed somebody. I worked picking grapes in France, came back. Penneys needed somebody to sweep the floor before they opened. I went in. My dad said, if you don't take that job, it was true manpower. And then if they have other work that you are interested in, like marketing, then you won't get it. So just take it. It's only for 4 weeks. I said, fine. Went in, swept the floor, got on well with the guys there. A fella called Tim O'Keefe, who was the head of Ireland for Penneys, liked me. So I had a reasonably good leaving cert and said, look, would you like to do the management training program at Penneys? I thought, why not? So suddenly I was in the retail business. And I did that for 6 years and I loved it. I mean, it was tough work. Retail is tough. Working your way through a chain store is tough. But by God, do you learn a lot? I mean, I worked with the best retailers in the world, Arthur Ryan, Paddy Pryor, Seamus Halford. I mean, Penneys, Primark, like a global brand, but established by them and built by them.
That must have been early days in Penneys, was it?
That was 1981. Penneys started in 1969.
Did
in
it?
Mary Street, yeah.
I didn't think it was that old.
Yeah. So they celebrated 50 years, whenever that was, 2019. And I think the secret to their success is the same management team were there from the beginning. Now, Arthur died, I think it's 5 years ago, because I saw him to his son recently, maybe 6 years ago. But they steered the ship through, from starting off with one store, Mary Street, to becoming a global brand. I mean, probably one of the best retailers in the world, kicking ass in the US, pan-European success story, all still run out of Mary Street in Dublin.
Yeah, I don't think we properly recognise that here. I think Ryanair is the other one we don't properly go, it changed the world. You don't say that about too many companies, but Ryanair did change Europe. It changed Ireland, for sure. I think because we're a little bit too close to it. I think Penneys is definitely the other one because it's so ubiquitous. This is Penneys, son. It's so kind of like well known that we almost take it for granted going, yeah, it's Penneys. I don't think you've spelled it out lovely there. Like, this is a big success story started and run from Dublin. Yeah.
Mary Street. I mean, you're right. Michael O'Leary, I mean, his brother, Jed, supplies me with pig's ears for dogs.
No way.
Yeah, that's where the family started from.
There's a little connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would have met Michael, and I mean, great operators. Ryanair, I mean, my God, I have the height of respect for them. What you see is what you get. You show up, you pay your money, you get on the flight. But I mean, I remember before 2001, before 9/11, like trying to fly in Europe as a business customer was £700 or £800, €1,000 if you wanted to go over and back to Cologne in a day or 2 days, unless you're staying a Saturday night. Even at that, it was huge money. Whereas now, I mean, I booked a flight to Paris next week and going over to look at a few stores there. I mean, I think it was €21 over and maybe 61 on the way back. Crazy.
It's insane. Like, I don't think we realise, like, you can go to London and back. I did it there a few months ago. Over and back for like 71 quid. Over and back.
Yeah.
In the same day.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's bananas to be able to travel around Europe for under 100 quid. Like, I think what they have done, like, they have fundamentally changed the economies of whole countries.
Yeah. I mean, look at places like Lille where they've sort of, taken on the one outside Brussels, which now...
Oh, Charleroi.
I mean, that was probably doing 35,000 passengers a year. Ryanair went in, it's probably doing 35 million. I mean, it's colossal. I mean, they just fundamentally changed, completely. You're right. I mean, people, if we look at people who are working from, Eastern Europe, Polish or Estonian or wherever, like they can hop on a flight and be home, and it's not going to, it's not a king's ransom. They're not going to have to mortgage their house to go away to go back home. It's phenomenal.
Well,
really.
it's very, exactly. You make a perfect point there. It's in before people might get home once a year, or home at Christmas maybe, whereas now it's like you literally could do it every second week or whatever. So it's phenomenal. So Penneys, you did that for 6 years, and up through the management ranks there.
Really enjoyed it. I mean, it was tough going. I mean, like some days were 7 days a week. I mean, I remember the last place I worked there was Nuckrove, and that was a new concept store for Penneys. So I opened a number of new stores for them. That's what I did. But Nuckrove was a new concept, and it sort of laid the foundations for how they look today now, shop in shops, etc., which didn't have back then. And I remember working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, and I had a team of guys working with me. One fellow, John Little, who's now the director of M&S, was the CEO of Boohoo, but like I could name 20 guys who went on to, from Penneys to great things across, and I mean, I can remember him and another fellow called Ken Power, and they were my sort of assistants in Nuckrove at the time. I dropped them to the Dart. One lived in Sandymount and the other one lived in Bray. I dropped them to the Dart about 10:30, 11 o'clock. They'd get the Dart home. I collect them at 7:30 in the morning and be back into work for 8:30 in Nuckrove. I mean, it was crazy. But we were young and it was fun and it was exciting. I mean, people wouldn't do that now. It was lunacy, but it was great fun. And I mean, what about a knowledge base? Oh my God. Unreal.
Incredible grounding. Like we talk about apprenticeships a lot in this podcast. I think there's just such power in like those trainee programs and things like that, because there's only so much you learn from a book.
Yeah.
You learn more in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months shadowing someone like you than you will in 4 years.
Oh no, I mean, like I'm still friends with most of those guys in Penneys. You know what I mean? I could go into, like it was down in Tralee. We opened a new store in Tralee maybe 4 years ago. And the manager of Penneys in Tralee, when I worked in Penneys, which was nearly 40 years ago, 35 years ago, right? This fellow called John Carlin. Now, I hadn't seen him in 25 years, hadn't spoken in 25 years. I just went into Penneys in Tralee and I said, would John Carlin be here? Said, oh yeah, no problem. So the girl called, John. Out he comes, walking down the road, as if I just, Anthony, how are you getting on? As if I'd seen him yesterday.
Way.
I mean,
that's wild.
But you could do that anywhere in Penneys. I mean, it was just the camaraderie, like it's just phenomenal. And Arthur Ryan, who like was a legend in the retail business, I mean, I'd meet him regularly, meet him in an airport, or meet him in a hotel, or I'd meet him in a football match. Always come over, always talk to you. How you getting on? What's going on? I mean, I was gone 30 years. I was still, if he met me, or he'd pick up the phone to me and was like phenomenal, like really phenomenal.